to Streams Dialogue Series. On this dialogue series, take this as session one. I'll be discussing some individuals, their experiences, and how you can apply that to your own life. On this edition, I'll be discussing bounce back. How do you bounce back from a mistake? How do you bounce back from a decision that has crippled you? And if you look at these sets of people or this particular individual who has bounced back from major adversities, who has gone on to be the most revered, feared, and respected, albeit we could call him the king of Wall Street. I'm talking about Larry Fink. Larry Fink is one of the most respected, leader in the world, not just by the market, by president and leaders of other nations. And is not a government leader. He was a man that created or started BlackRock. The history is not what I want you to pay attention to, but to look at his life. He was working in a major American bank in their investment department, and he was reputed to have grown the department to about $1 billion in the 1980s. But in 1986, this same Larry Fink lost about $100 million in his department, and he was fired, making big decisions, and he got the forecast of the interest rate wrong in 1986, and he was fired. So he went on to create his own business. Again in 2006 in his own business, guess what? He made another terrible merger deal acquisition where it led to a default of $500 million. You might be asking, is he not tired of making mistakes? That kind of mistake should necessarily sink him. That should end his career. He was fired in this bank. But guess what? All his mistakes, he was not failing backwards. He was failing forward. And he was making bigger decisions. When he made a decision that cost him $100 million, the business power was about $1 billion. When he made a decision that cost him about $500 million, the merger acquisition was about $5.4 billion. Fast forward till today, do you know that same Larry Fink has been able to create the biggest and the largest asset management company in the world? In fact, people are terrified of the name BlackRock in any space or institution because of his giant, enormous, unimaginable size. He has under management over 10 trillion assets. Do you know the entire asset or the GDP of African continent? Maybe less than 2 trillion. Do you know the entire budget and GDP of European continent? Just about 17 trillion. Can you imagine one man presiding over a company with assets and level of over 10 trillion? That's more than a nation. That's more than a continent. The same man who made mistakes upon mistakes and has been able to learn from those mistakes to bounce back and create a giant institution that people that may have fired him or questioned his judgment today goes to him to go and seek advice or seek help. During the process of building BlackRock, he built maybe we'll call it an AI or a system that is called Aladdin. It's said to be the best respected system for, forecast and, making predictions in the market today. All his competitors who manages like 5 trillion or 7 trillion or 1 trillion, they go to him to use his system in order for them to run their own business. He's so powerful a man, but not on his power or his influence. I want you to focus. Is how he bounced back from his mistakes in 1986 when he was fired from his job because of a decision, and his near fatal decision where he lost $500,000. Pension companies and businesses, including California Pension Board, lost a lot of money in the 2006 deal. But that same man. So what am I saying? You can bounce back from your own mistakes. Don't allow one mistake to ruin your vision, to ruin your business, to ruin your passion, to say, oh, I made mistakes. When you make mistake or you did something that did not advance your business or vision, ask yourself, that is not a way not to do it. What is this experience teaching me in order to do it better? Just like Thomas Edison, he kept refining his business research into light bulb until he found the right way to do it. When you make a mistake, that is not the way to do it. It should not be the end of your career, your vision, or your business. So take a cue, read more about the journey of Larry Fink and see how someone who was fired because of $100 million in 1986, fast forward, few years later, or managed to create the biggest asset management in the world. That is something of a bounce back. So bounce back in your own vision, in your pursuit. Don't throw in the towel. Be sure to go for it again. And if you get it wrong again, don't throw in the towel. Keep going until you succeed in your vision. And I hope this is useful for someone. Share with your team, share with your friends, share with someone that you know needs to bounce back from an adverse decision, either the one they made or the one made for them, or an adverse mistake that there is still possibility for them, either in business, career, or in their own life. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next episode of Dialogue series on Streams. Bye.